Okay, let's make some beaded plants. You can do this succulent style or this fairy garden style or the same process. So I'm going to show you that today. So let me show you everything that you will need to make these. First of all, you're going to need a pot of some kind. These are from Hobby Lobby. They're 6 for $1.99, both sizes, which is crazy to me. These I found out in my yard from when my son was a toddler. Got to clean up. So any vessel that you want to put your plant in is perfect. You're going to need the most annoying substance on earth, which is some foam brick. And you'll need either some sand for the top, some moss for the top, or get creative on what you want to fill in your pot with. Then you'll of course need your floral wire. 24 gauge wire is very easy to work with and needs a little bit of flexible movement so your plant can catch the sun. You will need this all-in-one tool is my favorite. It cuts your wire, it twists your wire, and if you crimp it, you crimp. This is my favorite tool. And then of course you will need beads. So for the fairy gardens, I like an assortment of these funky flower beads plus something colorful to put in the center and some more random. I really like faceted beads for this project. For the beaded succulent style plant, you are going to want assorted green seed beads plus maybe some leaves, maybe some pops of color, however you want your plant to turn out. So first you're going to fill your pot with your foam brick slightly lower than the top of the pot. Then fill it to the top with either your moss or your sand. I just used good old school glue. It's not perfect, but it works just fine. You don't want any harder glue, you won't be able to poke your plant stems in afterwards. So this school glue works just fine. Then you are going to make your stems. So you're going to cut your wire the length of the pot, and then however far you want it to kind of come up and out of your pot, and leave just a tiny bit extra to coil it off at the end. You want your strands to be varying lengths. So go ahead and cut your strand, and then use that all-in-one, or if you have a separate looping tool, you will loop it around to close off the end of your wire. And I just recently started doing kind of a double loop, and I think that it just looks a little more polished on the ends. All right, so your looped end is going to be the end of your strand. So whatever beads you want poking up toward the top, you're going to start with those beads and you're going to face them toward the loop. So for this one, if we're going to start with some of these cute flowers, then I will be grabbing the bead I want for the center of my flower. I love to do a contrasting color to whatever the flower is because I like these to be really, really funky. But if you would rather them be more lifelike, you can do it however you want. Just doing that kind of pop of girl. All right, so I like to do a flower and then a leaf. And then for my stem, I just go do some funky little beads here. These are all random assortment from Hobby Lobby and Amazon. I really love these longer faceted beads. Do some brown, pink. I just keep it totally random to me. It's more relaxing when I don't try to paint on my stem and I just go for it. Let's get some blue on here. These little fluffy ones. All right, now for the bottom of my stem, you can hold it and kind of hold and see. You know what? That might need to be just a dash taller, so let me get a little more beadage on there. And whatever your bottom bead is going to get pretty much hidden in the moss. So sometimes I use my beads I don't like as much on the bottom. This is how I do it. There's plenty of ways to do it. But how I do it is on the last bead, I take the end of my wire, loop it back through the bead. So come all the way around and press it down through your bead. And this is when that loop tool comes in handy again. You want to keep your beads as close together as you can and pull that wire through. See, I want that back down next to the red bead. So I don't want a big gap. Okay, so pull that wire through. Perfect. And then I have never dipped glue. I see some people dip their wire in glue first. I just go for it. So you're going to press that down into your pot. And then as you can see, I like to do about 5 to 6 strands or maybe little mushrooms. You just repeat that process as many times as you want to fill your plant. Same process with this. You would loop the end, fill it with your beads, wrap around the last bead, press into the sand. Happy beading.